Hello, welcome into SheldonAthletics.com. Alex Castle here with you. We'll get going with our broadcast in just a couple minutes as we get off the ground on our own airwaves at KWVA on KWVA2. So just give us a few moments, then we'll get you ready with some pregame and then kick off between Sheldon and Sherwood here in the second round of the OSAA State Football Championships. Hello and welcome in to the Friday Night Spotlight here on KWVA2. And boy, do we got a good one for you. It's the second round of the 2018 OSAA Football State Championships, this time at the 6A division here. And thanks for joining us as well on SheldonAthletics.com for another edition of Sheldon High School Football. Number 3 seed Irish hosting number 14 Sherwood out of the Pacific Conference. It's the second round. Both teams looking for a trip to the quarterfinals. Thanks for joining us. Not much time for pregame here. As I'm joined by Bill Breaker, I'm Alex Castle. Glad to have you along for us for what should be a great night of high school football action.
Absolutely nothing like it here in Eugene, Oregon. Sheldon to receive, just about to kick off the second round of the Oregon High School Football Playoffs.
For Sheldon, they're looking for their 12th trip to the quarterfinals in the last 13 years. Their one absence last year, a second-round loss on this field in Dennis Ludwig Stadium to what was then Central Catholic. This year, the onside kick attempt by Sherwood is recovered by Sheldon. A trick play called on by 25th year head coach Greg Lawrence of the Bowmen. What an aggressive start for Sherwood. Doesn't pay off though. Sheldon recovers and they'll start from their own 46-yard line.
Absolutely. That is one way to start a high school football game. You're playing the number 3 team in the nation. You have nothing to lose. Might as well give it all. And the 25th year head coach Greg Lawrence goes for the marbles. The onside kick
doesn't
comes
pay
up
off.
Unsuccessful.
Here it's Michael Johnson Jr. going to roll out on first down, throwing complete across the middle and down to the 14-yard line. That one complete to Patrick Herbert, the big tight end. A quick connection from the quarterback, Johnson Jr., the senior in his second year as the quarterback for the Irish, but he missed last year's playoffs, and that was a big part of Sheldon's 28-24 loss in the second round of Central Catholic. He's back and healthy and ready to lead them, hopefully, for the Irish all the way to the state championship. Man goes in motion right to left, end around here to Zach Folsom. He cuts back up in the middle to the 35, still on his feet, chugging forward to the 34 before being swung down by the Bowmen. It's a pickup there of about 6 yards. It's second down and 4. Quickly, you see Sheldon using the edges and their speed.
I was about to start to interrupt you there. You ask any offensive lineman coach, they're going to say, set the edge. And that's exactly what the 6-foot, 270-pound Seth Meyer did on that play, bringing up a second and 4.
11 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Scoreless, the Irish with the ball down at the Bowman's 34. Second down. Johnson Jr. lone set. He's going to take it himself up the middle. Met at the line, and he's going to be pushed back. No gain on the run by Johnson Jr. The big stop from the junior Logan Carr.
Jackson Barton played a key one in there. Him and Barr coming in close and tackling a big guy in Michael Johnson Jr. 6'4", 205 pounds. No wonder he's a commit to the Penn State.
And one of the fastest players in the state at any position. To have him at quarterback, it's dangerous. Last year he had 3 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. Going with Matthew Burgess, who had 3 on the ground as well. Still an empty set for Johnson Jr. on 3rd and 4 now. He's rolling out, being chased, throwing it wide open on the right side, complete to Klinko, going down the right sideline. He's pushed out inside the 10, all the way down to the 8. It's going to be first and goal for Sheldon.
What separates a good quarterback from a great poor quarterback is what they do under pressure. And Johnson Jr. has established himself early as someone that develops play when he is given nothing.
First and goal now from the 8. It's a keeper for Johnson Jr. left side, cutting up the middle and launching himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Sheldon. The 8-yard run from the senior quarterback gets them the early start in the second round.
Well, that was quick. That one only took 2 minutes and 7 seconds for the Irish to get on the board. Given that play, that possession started at the 45, they moved down the field quickly, and they're up on the board 6-0, pending an extra point.
54 yards on just 5 plays, and as you said it, Bill, just 2 minutes and 7 seconds off the board here. And it's 6-0 Sheldon. On comes Jay Kartub to attempt the PAT. Hold is down, kick is up, and straight through. Makes it 7-0 Sheldon. A quick strike from the Irish, and that's nothing new for them. Last week, 4 of their 6 touchdowns in their 42-6 win over Centennial in the first round. 4 of them, 26 yards or more. And of every single touchdown drive, they all took 5 plays or less. Sherwood, they know they're going to control the ball. They're a wing T offense. They're going to be running the ball a lot. They want to control it as much as possible. But it really would go a long way if they could just keep Sheldon off the field a little bit longer.
Absolutely. You were talking about last week how the Irish went 4 of their 6 scoring plays were more than 26 yards. Well, that would have been another one because a 25-yard gain, the play right before that to bring them within 8 yards of the end zone. Establishing themselves early. That's what makes the number 3 team in the state who they are.
The Irish to our right now will be kicking off to the left. The Irish wearing their green tops, black numbers, white pants with white helmets and the green. Irish logo on either side of their helmet, kicking it to the left where Sherwood collects in their all whites. The S on their helmets as it's taken upfield to the 18. Contact is made and falling forward to the 20. There goes Caden Reinhardt, senior running back. There's many of them on this Sherwood team. They come in the number 14 team in the OSAA final standings, 5-5 on the year, 3-1 out of the Pacific Conference. Have just the 26th scoring offense in the state, averaging just below 4 touchdowns a game. They run this wing T or the triple option here. So it'll be Seth Bernhardt getting under center, or rather, that's Chase Scheidster, but he hands it off up the middle. It's a short gain to about the 24. That one carried by Ian Stormont. Stormont, the leading rusher last week in Sherwood's first round win over Sandy, 42-14, in which the Bowmen put together 421 yards on the ground and had 3 different rushers, including Stormont, go for 100 yards plus. 7-0, Sheldon leads. It's 2nd and 7 for Sherwood. Handoff goes right side, getting off the edge and across the 25 to the 27 there. That one's Ryan Scroggin, Scroggin, another one of the 100-yard rushers, and that's going to be just part of the course for Sherwood. They have a lot of options in that backfield.
Absolutely. That's what happens when you run that, what is it, a triple threat?
A triple option.
Triple option, pardon me. You don't see that as much at the pro level, but you see a lot of Navy college running that one, and it's absolutely successful as they move the ball there.
The military institutions, Navy and Army. Here will be a handoff for Scheidster right up the middle to the fullback. Lost in the scrum, but gets to the 30-yard line or just shy of it. This one's going to depend on the spot. It was 3rd and 2.
Not going to give it to him. 4th down.
It's going to be 4th and inches, and this is a big decision right off the bat for head coach Greg Lawrence.
2 big play calls. You begin the game with an onside kick, giving Sheldon the ball with a short field, and you could do the exact same thing here if Sheldon holds them.
No hesitation from Sherwood. They're going to get down and stack the front. It's going to be a keeper for Scheidster up the middle. Flags come out, though, and this play is going to be blown dead. And would not be surprised if this is a false start against the Bowmen. There was a lot of movement up front on that line. And that indeed is the call. A false start going against the Bowmen. That makes their decision a little bit easier now. It's going to be about 4th and 5. Going to have to punt it away, and Sheldon, a quick 3 and out. And we talked about how quick their offense can strike and how Sherwood depends on maintaining the ball. That means 3 and outs for the Bowman offense could be lethal.
Definitely. You mentioned it just before that, how this play call is much simpler now. Now they're punting it to, who is that out there?
Should
That's
be Jack
Folsom.
And the punt is blocked in the backfield. Sherwood recovers, and they have it at the 20-yard line. Matthew Burgess comes from the edge and gets both hands on the punt. 7:32 to play, and the Irish will start from the red zone.
No need for Jack Folsom there. Another short field for the Sheldon Irish. They start this one with 7:32 in the first at the 20-yard line. They're already in the red zone. Knocking on the door.
It is 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Johnson Jr. lone set, lobbing out right side for Herbert on the edge. He finds it inside the 10, shaking off tackles and into the end zone. Touchdown, Sheldon. A 20-yard bubble screen ends up in 6 points from Johnson Jr. to Patrick Herbert.
Another short field for the Irish. This one doesn't take 5 or 6 plays. This one takes one. They give it to the Oregon commit and brother of Justin Herbert. 20 yards to the house for Patrick Herbert.
Is easily able to set up that play, secure the edge, and Herbert showing off the speed and the strength and balance at the end as well. Got through some tacklers and then kept his feet in bounds. So now Karta connects on the PAT. It's 14-0 Sheldon with 7:24 to go. And right off the bat, the Bowmen have their backs against the wall. Their offense going to have to recollect here, and it seems like time and time again, this becomes the case when you're playing against these number 3 Sheldon Irish. You give up a couple touchdowns, and it feels like you have to score immediately just to keep pace.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at this Bowman team. Obviously, 14 down is a big hole. But last week, they were down 7-0 at the end of the first quarter, and they put up 35 unanswered points. Can they do it again this week? Woo! Sheldon's a little bigger of an opponent.
Yeah, they're going to have to get their defense to step up a little bit now. 6 plays run from Sheldon, 2 touchdowns. Doesn't help that the special teams for the Irish came through as well, had that blocked punt. Last week, it was one of the rare times where Sheldon maybe didn't have the edge necessarily on special teams. Centennial had a punt return for a touchdown. The Irish consistently have a case for being the best special teams unit in all of 6A and all of the state of Oregon. Gave them that touchdown here, and now they'll kick it away. Karcha approaches the 40 and puts his right leg behind it. Stepping up to take that is Stormont. He goes through the 20 to the 25, spinning past defenders to the 40, to midfield, all the way across the 50 and into Sheldon territory. That was Caden Reinhardt once again, excuse me.
We just talked about it. You're down 14-0. What do you need? You need short fieldage. When you take that kickoff 55 yards, you put yourself in a good position to put points on the board.
I mentioned it earlier in the pregame. Sheldon going for their 12th trip to the quarterfinals since 2006. Their only time missing it since that year was last year. Second round loss to Central Catholic. Sherwood, though, looking for their first berth in the quarterfinals since 2015 when they made it all the way to the 6A semifinals. So your handoff goes around the right edge. This one to Reinhardt. Or actually, that one's Stormont. It's going to be difficult just to keep track of which man is carrying the ball because Sherwood constantly rotating new backs in there, constantly disguising who is taking it as well on the option.
Absolutely, and they have a new quarterback in. That first drive, it was Cade Chrysler. Now they're going back to their starting quarterback, Seth Bernhardt. Not starter for this week, pardon me.
Of course, the quarterback, not all that much to do in this offense. This here will be a handoff left side going to Scroggin. He's trying to get to the edge, but is going to be stopped short of the line of scrimmage. In fact, able to just stretch forward back to that 38-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and short now for Sheldon, or rather for Sherwood, excuse me. 14-0 Sheldon leads, though, down to 6:20 to play in this first quarter. Thanks for listening here on KWVA2. Big thanks to the guys and gals back in studio, getting us up there. As here, the ball's dropped on the snap by Bernhardt. He has to fall back on it, back at the 42-yard line. It's a loss on 3rd down, and now it's 4th for Sherwood. Kind of in a no-man's land territory here. Seems like an opportunity where almost have to go for it. Down 14-0.
I mean, if you were to punt it, you'd give Sheldon, assuming they don't take the kick, across the 50-yard line. You'd put them back in their own area, pin them up against their goal line. But no, Greg Lawrence is putting all his marbles in the first quarter.
Second, 4th down attempt here. It's going to be a handoff on the outside going to Scroggin, working his way towards the edge, but he's held back from the line to gain. Stopped short at the 39, and Sheldon will take over on the turnover on downs.
That one almost tricked me. That's the power of the triple option. The first handoff was a fake, tricked the broadcasters up here in addition to the Sheldon defense. But they found a way to tackle him right before the line to gain.
So now with 5:20 to play, Sheldon takes over in their own territory. It's going to be spotted at the 39. They lead 14-0. Look to add on to it here. Sherwood trying to match up defensively is now, for the first time tonight, there's a man in the backfield, but just coming off the edge there and drawing flags is Jackson Barton. He says that Sheldon was moving. That's what drew him off sides. There's a meeting by the officials in the middle, but kind of an odd play. Barton just went right at the quarterback. And they are going to call this on Sheldon, a false start. Just didn't draw the whistles quick enough from the officials. It'll be first down and 15 now for the Irish, spotted back at their own 34.
Their first flag of the game.
Burgess sits on the left shoulder of Johnson Jr., takes the handoff right side, spins past one defender, stepping over another and hauling some with him all the way to the 48-yard line. It's a pickup of 14 yards, and that's a nice way to make up for the penalty.
Definitely. You want to put his team back? Well, he'll just run for 14 on the first down to make it an even simpler 2nd and 1. What is it now? Pardon me, 2nd and 2.
4:45 to play in this first quarter. 2nd down and 1. Johnson Jr. going to throw, sitting from the pocket, unleashing it down the right side, and just overthrew his intended receiver. He's looking for Jack Folsom down that right sideline, just couldn't find him. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short, and that's what you can do when you get the 14-yard carry on 1st down and make it 2nd and short. Opens up the playbook.
Definitely two interesting things there. One is the play call. It was 2nd and 1, you decide to go deep. And number 2 is that Folsom had quite a few steps on that cornerback there. If Johnson Jr. placed it right in there, could have been a 21-0 game. Nonetheless, 3rd and 1.
It is 3rd and short here for the Irish. Spread formation, 2 receivers each side. Now Jacob Frey goes in motion into the backfield. Burgess, the guy in there, as it will be a keeper for Johnson Jr. around the right side. He has the 1st down into Bowman territory and tripped up at the 44.
Excellent play fake by Johnson Jr. Gets the defense off guard and rolls right for an 8-yard gain.
Just so dangerous for defenses. You have to worry about everything that Johnson Jr. can do, both running and throwing. You have a guy like Burgess in the backfield, and every play fake to him gives you at least hesitating and making sure you know who has the ball, because either guy can burn you. 1st down and 10 now from the Sherwood 44. Johnson Jr. alone in the backfield, throwing out left side to Folsom, spinning away from a defender in the backfield, but going to be brought down after a short gain on the near sideline. Just a pickup of 1, and it's 2nd down.
That one could have been a disaster for the Irish. Michael Clapp was right there to tackle. One missed tackle, and what do you know? It's a positive gain. A short positive gain, 1 yard, but still a positive gain. Could have been a loss of 3.
Instead, Folsom able to turn it into a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9 now from the 43. Johnson Jr. alone in the backfield, rolling to his right now, stepping up, and it's a designed run left side. Gets out to the edge and pushed out inside the 35, down to the 30. Johnson Jr. a pickup of 13 using his legs. Sheldon inching closer to that red zone once again.
Madden Salisbury set the edge for that one. An easy run for Michael Johnson Jr. If Salisbury sets the edge all evening, it's going to be a long night for the defensive tackles of Sherwood.
Johnson Jr. here going to throw, has to evade a sack. Now another rusher comes, rolling to his right, slinging it into the end zone, where he finds his man! What a throw! Where did he come from? Johnson Jr. finds him nonetheless. Folsom into the end zone. Touchdown, Sheldon. I do not even know how Folsom slipped back there. Johnson Jr. keeping the play alive, staying in the pocket, finally rolling out, and just seemed to sling that one towards the back corner, not even knowing that his man could get there, but he did.
I originally thought that one was going to Patrick Herbert. He was rolling left side. Out of nowhere, Folsom comes and takes that one.
Incredible. What a throw and what a catch. Sheldon just making it look too easy out here. 20-0 they lead. Kartub on for the extra point. Snap is good, hold down, kick up and through the uprights. 21-0 Sheldon leads. Another explosive play from their offense. They're keeping it going in the playoffs now. 9 touchdown drives. Not a single one has taken more than 5 plays.
Even when you put them way back in their neck of the woods, starts from the 20-yard line. They drive down all the way. Less than 5 plays. Powerful offense for the Sherwood Irish. Pardon me, Sheldon Irish. The SH, get them mixed up.
There is quite a bit of similarities between these two programs, though. You just look at what both have accomplished since the turn of the century. Sheldon, 4 state championships since 2001, 3 under Marty Johnson. Their last Lane Johnson in 2012. They've been one of the most consistent forces in 6A. For Sherwood, they moved to 6A just back in 2014, and since then have gone to just 1 quarterfinal, rather 2 quarterfinals and 1 semifinal, I should say. But before that, in 5A, their last 4 years there, from 2009 to 2012, they would go to 4 consecutive state championships, winning 2 of them, losing 2 of them. But all in all, been one of the most successful programs at any level in Oregon. You can say that about both these teams here tonight. Here it's going to be a reverse on the kickoff. It's handed off to Scroggin going around the left edge, and he'll get near the 30-yard line before being chopped down. Originally that kick went to Reinhardt. He worked his way to the middle before Scroggin ended around from the right to the left, got that handoff and tried to fool the Irish. It didn't necessarily work, but they do get out to the 28-yard line for a first down and 10.
You love to see the trick play calls. But going back to these 2 powerhouses in the state of Oregon, one of the great things I think that makes high school football so great is that you look at Greg Lawrence, the head coach of Sherwin Bowman. It's his 25th season. You transfer on over to Sheldon, his 2nd season. Age doesn't matter.
Here it's a rollout to the right for Scheidster. It is pass complete to Scroggin across the 40 to the 41. That's the first pass attempt of the night from Sherwood. They threw just 3 times in their first round win. You see there how it can catch the defense off guard. But going back to your point, Bill, I think that's true. It's just the fact that you see how a program like Sheldon has just been built from the ground up into a powerhouse. At the same time, Greg Lawrence, he's the one that has done that on Sherwood's sidelines. He's the one that stepped in and made Sherwood what it is. Before he got here, they had just gone 3-9 in the playoffs, only advancing past the first round twice. So your handoff goes left side to Lucas Voss. That's Stormont spinning his way across midfield and all the way down to the 44 of Sheldon. It's a pickup of 14. It moves the chains, and first down and 10 for the Bowmen. It's their first down of the night as well.
Yeah, you just brought that up. 3-9 in the playoffs before Greg Lawrence came to town. 34-17 now. Talk about making the difference.
First and 10 now for Sherwood from the 44. It's going to be a rollout to the left for Scheidster, lobbing it up left side, incomplete. He was hit as he threw. Pressure came there off the edge from Isaiah Lugo. Causing some havoc there. Makes it second down and 10. And if you're Sherwood, you can catch him off guard with a pass on first down, no doubt. But when you then don't connect, you're backed up second and long. And for a triple option offense, staying in front of the sticks can be so essential.
Yeah, last week, only 3 passes thrown. Sheldon prepared for the run all week. Only the second pass we've seen today.
Now second and 10. Third option goes around the edge to Guerra, and he is pushed back. It's going to be a tackle for loss from the Sheldon defense. About a yard or so. Keeps it at third and long. This is where that incompletion comes back to bite you, because now there's just not that many play calls that you have faith in on that Sherwood offense to pick you up 10 yards on one play.
Definitely. It's all about chunk yardage. You get 2 yards on first, 2 on second. Third down's that much easier. But when you're backed up, like you've said, third and 10, you're backed up, and it's hard. It's difficult.
Minute 20 to go in this first quarter as the handoff goes off to the right side. Nothing there at all for Jamison Guerra.
Another decision for Greg Lawrence.
That's 4th and long. And given the offensive style, it just seems like a must punt here for Sherwood, but that difficult to come to terms with for the Bowmen. As we roll down under a minute to play in the first quarter, they're trailing 21-0. Come out in punt formation nonetheless.
Last time Sherwood tried to punt, I don't want to remind the Bowman fans, but it was a blocked punt.
Burgess came off the edge. Very next play for Sheldon was a touchdown as well. Here the punt does get away from Caden Steindorf. It's going to roll out inside the 15 and actually all the way down inside the 10 to the 8. Jack Folsom was back there to receive, but a really nice punt by Steindorf pins the Irish back deep inside their own territory. They'll have a 1st and 10 from their own 9 with 26 seconds to play in this first quarter.
Take a look at this Sheldon team as we're heading down to end this first quarter. A lot to be proud of for Sheldon. Sherwood, they've moved the ball well, but late in 2nd and 3rd downs, they've just been unsuccessful, and that's why they've had to punt.
Here it's a 1st down handoff up the middle to Burgess, breaking through the line across the 15, up to the 17. It's a pickup of about 8 on 1st down. Second down now, handoff up the middle again to Burgess, across the 20 to the 25. Burgess giving Sheldon all the room, just neutralizing that punt from Sherwood. And it sends us to the end of the first quarter. 21-0, number 3 Sheldon leading number 14 Sherwood here in the second round of the 2018 OSAA Football State Championships. And by the way, you can check out OSAA Today for news, polls, and stories on the latest in Oregon high school sports and activities. Go to www.osaa.org and find the OSAA Today section. Share story ideas and even become a contributor. Visit OSAA Today today. 12 minutes back up on the clock here in the second quarter. Thanks for joining us here on KWVA2 as a part of our Friday Night Spotlight. Alex Castle and Bill Breaker here with you. And of course, if you are watching on SheldonAthletics.com, thanks for joining us for another week of Irish football action. Sheldon leading 21-0. They have the ball with a 1st down and 10 from their own 26. And right now, the Irish, they want to just keep on rolling. Sherwood's got to find something to do to change up the momentum in this game.
I 100% agree. Sheldon, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, all less than 5 plays. They're clicking on all cylinders, especially on the offensive end. If Sherwood can find any way to slow down Michael Johnson Jr., their game plan will be in full effect.
Johnson Jr. throws out on a flare out from Folsom. He gets across the 30 and all the way up to about the 35. Zach Folsom, that was Matthew Burgess, came in motion and took that one off of Johnson Jr. It's a pickup of 9. Makes it 2nd down and 1. Handoff left side here for Burgess, trying to work around the edge. Gets to the 40 before being hit from behind and down to the 41. Moves the sticks, and Sheldon very content with just running this ball to either side to pick up these 1st downs one after the other.
Excellent patience by Matthew Burgess on that one. Ran horizontally to the far sideline, waited for his blocks, and then charged upfield.
Johnson Jr. with Burgess to his right here. He's going to roll out to his right, looking to throw. Plants, throws over the middle, tipped away and intercepted into the hands of Ben Baxter. He takes it back the other side for Sherwood across midfield and swung down at the 44, as Ben Baxter able to jump on that one as it got tipped up into the air, looking for Gunnar Robinson. Was Johnson Jr. over the middle, pretty good location. But it's an opportunistic defense there for the Bowmen.
That could be the break the Bowmen will need. I actually am going to have to disagree with that on that part. I think the throw selection on that one was pretty poor. Threw that into triple coverage off the arm of one of the Bowmen players and into the arm for an interception.
Not great decision maybe, but
Pardon me.
Good location into the window. Just couldn't quite fit it there. Too many bodies. It's here. It's going to be Benhart rolling around in the pocket, and he connects over the middle to Michael Clapp inside the 20 and stopped at the 25. Sherwood mixing up the offense a little bit here and breaking out some of their pass plays. So they'll pick up 16 yards. It'll be first down and 10.
No, I agree. Good or poor decision making, excellent location. That was the issue on that last play.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get it into that window. Johnson Jr. trusting his arm a little bit too much for Johnson Jr., by the way. That is just his third interception thrown in the entire season. Sarah handoff goes to Stormont up the middle, chugging his way to the 15, or rather 20, excuse me. That's where he stopped after a pickup of 5.
You see, that's the short yardage plays they need on first down to make that second down and third down yardage even smaller and even more obtainable. A 16-yard throw on first down, and now on this first down, a 5-yard run up the middle.
10-20 to play in the first half. 21-0 Sheldon, but Sherwood with the ball off the turnover and into the red zone now. As the handoff goes off the left side and up to the 15, make it the 14 from Ian Stormont. It's enough for the first down. Moves the chains once again. Sherwood really needed that turnover when it happened. Badly need to turn it into a touchdown the other way, down 21-0. Bernhardt, the quarterback, and he's going to hand it off right side. Stormont working his way inside the 10 to the 5, getting near the pylon. He's going to be just short. Have to see where exactly they mark him, and this one may be all the way down to the 1.
Looks like it, 1-yard line. First and goal for the Bowmen. Seems as though this is the first possession they've had that they're really moving the ball quickly and efficiently.
Finding their rhythm on offense. Bernhardt gets under center, sends a man in motion. Now a handoff to Stormont, who he bumps into on it, and he'll work his way inside and gets in for the score. Touchdown Sherwood, as Stormont carries the load on the entire drive and caps it off with a 1-yard touchdown run.
You really love to see that from a high school football player. Second effort. That's what you saw on that play. Second effort.
A second effort that was caused by his own quarterback at the same time. He ran into him on the handoff.
Any block you can get, right?
Yeah, right. Use all the momentum you can. Here, a high kick from Steindorf goes through the uprights. Going well out of Dennis Ludwig Stadium. Going to have to get someone back there to chase it down.
There was a little small fan running to get that one.
Helps him out. 9:29 to play now in this first half. It's 21-7 after that score. And Sherwood badly needed that when they got it. They got the turnover, and that may be kind of the design for them moving forward, is they're going to have to force Sheldon into some tough situations and honestly make some big plays in every facet of the game, not just on offense.
Definitely. When you get stops like that, you're going to be successful. One of the great things I saw right there, a great teaching moment. Josh Line pulls over his starting quarterback, Michael Johnson Jr. He's on the big team huddle, looks at him and says, well, I don't know what he says, but something most likely along the lines of, we're going to put that behind us and let's get a new drive going right here.
Just putting that one turnover in the past. For now, Sheldon not paying too much from it. They do give up the touchdown, but still a 2-score lead. 21-7, 9:29 to play. Steindorf kicks this one away. Goes back to Matthew Burgess. Carrying it up the right side. He'll be pushed out of bounds at the 28. Nice seam up that right edge. Set Sheldon up with a first down and 10 from their own 28.
Back comes Johnson Jr. How will he respond? His only third interception of the season.
His two other ones had come in the red zone. Rather, I should say one of his other ones came in the red zone. Every single one, though, has been kind of when he's throwing over the middle. See how he adjusts here. First down and 10 from the 28. Flags out. This should be a false start against Sheldon. Give us a break as our officials will take the spotlight for a moment. Gives us a moment to let you know that that if you need some extra spending money and want to give back to student athletes, you can become an athletic official. There's a big shortage of officials in Oregon, and we need you now more than ever. Visit www.newofficials.org. By the way, that was not a false start on Sheldon. It's a offsides going against Sherwood. So now it's 1st and 5 for the Irish. From their own 34, roll out to the left for Johnson Jr. Now cutting it back inside, finds a hole, laying out a defender as he goes across the 40 to the 42. Johnson Jr. showing off every bit of strength on that end of the run.
That linebacker you just trucked, Ben Baxter, 185 pounds, 5'11", compared to the 205, 6'4" stature of Michael Johnson Jr. 9 out of 10 times Johnson Jr. is going to win that one.
Gives them a 1st down and 10 thanks to the penalty as well. Up to the 42 now. Man in motion, left to right. Handoff up the middle to Burgess. Finds a seam, breaking around the right side. Stiff arms a man, but he'll trip him up inside the 40. Strong tackle there by Colin Anderson. The senior safety saves a touchdown from Matthew Burgess because he nearly was off to the races.
Definitely. Colin Anderson grabbed him by the foot, held on to that one, carried him for 2 yards, and stuck with it.
So another 1st down for the Irish, up to Sherwood's 42. Johnson Jr. alone in the backfield. Roll out to the left. Now a keeper for him to the right side. Finds some space inside the 30, and then upended at the 28. Falling forward to about the 26 to pick up nearly 16, and it will be another 1st down. Johnson Jr. making something out of nothing.
He's just so quick. You know, you see the defensive ends coming behind him. They have a step on him. Johnson Jr. hits the acceleration and takes it for a 1st down.
8 minutes to play in this 1st half. 21-7, Sheldon with the lead. And driving on Sherwood. 1st and 10 from the 26. Handoff right side to Burgess. Trying to get to the edge, and he's going to be stopped before he gets there. Coming in there on the Barton. Sure, Burgess gets just 2 yards. It's 2nd down.
The cheering you hear from that one's the cheerleaders doing flips. A lot of parents and fans love to see that.
There's action at every aspect of Dennis Ludwig Stadium here tonight.
And the Sherwood fans seem to travel well.
They've got a full stacked section across from us here. Pretty clear and pretty night at here in Eugene. Chilly though. So here the 2nd down is going to be a keeper for Johnson Jr. left side. He works through some traffic down to the 21-yard line, a pickup of 3. Makes this a little bit more of a 3rd and manageable now for the Irish. An important down as well for the Bowman defense.
This might be the longest 3rd down they've had all evening. 3rd and 5. They've had very manageable 3rd downs, and that's why they've been able to put 21 points up on the board.
6:40 to play. Sheldon comes out. An empty set for Johnson Jr. 3 receivers strung out to the right, 2 on his left. He takes the snap, rolling to the right. Now under pressure, stepping up, swung down for the sack. Sherwood gets to him. It's Brian Cuthbertson that gets in there for the big sack. It backs Sheldon all the way up to their 29.
He had all day back there. 4 or 5 seconds. Was scrambling around. Absolutely no pressure for him.
You notice there how Sherwood did a good job of just filling their lanes. Nobody, when they were trying to get back there, they stayed in their assignment. So Johnson Jr. didn't have anywhere to really scramble outside the pocket. He tried to step up, but Cuthbertson able to drag him down nonetheless. Josh Line here, though, going for the aggressive play call. 4th and 13, and he's going for it. The offense out there. Burgess to the right of Johnson Jr., who's going to drop back and throw. Blitz comes, throwing it over the middle, and complete for the first down inside the 5, down to the 4. Who else but Patrick Herbert?
The cornerback on that one was Noah Beeks. Well, Patrick Herbert stands at 6'5", and the 5'9" stature of Beeks is not going to help him in that one. Absolutely unmuscled him.
Herbert doing a great job to get that positioning, and Johnson Jr. putting it where he needed to. 1st and goal now from the 4. Keeper for Johnson Jr. going right up the middle, trying to move his legs forward, and he stretches it across. Touchdown, Sheldon. Another score for Johnson Jr., his 4th of the night already, and it's 27-7 Sheldon.
Just when you thought Sherwood was back in the game, a successful offensive drive for them, coming off the pick. They have a crucial 4th and 13, and they just cannot find a way to stop it. Johnson or Herbert, you're going to see that a lot throughout these playoffs.
That one, the big conversion on 4th and 13, set Sheldon up with that 4-yard touchdown run by Johnson Jr. He's got 2 on the ground now, 2 through the air. And as Carter kicks the PAT right through, it's 28-7. Sheldon sends their lead back to 3 scores. And for Sherwood right now, you had touched on it, Bill. It seemed like they were back into it a little bit. Their offense gets going, gets them a score. But their defense has just not been able to stop this unrelenting Sheldon offense. And that's kind of been the story all season long in 6A. The Irish, through the regular season, 47 points per game. That's good for the number 2 scoring offense in the state, just behind Jesuit. So Sherwood, not unlike the rest of the defenses in the state, but they have to find some way to at least frustrate this team a little bit, because as it stands, they are just going right through that defensive front. A lot on the ground as well.
Definitely. That's what happens when you have a dual threat quarterback like Michael Johnson Jr. behind snap. Last time these 2 teams played, it was a comeback. That one in favor of Sheldon. 31-14 at the end of 3 quarters. Let's see if Sherwood can do it this time. It's a little early.
They're going to have to put themselves in a position to come back here in the last 5 minutes and 21 seconds of this second quarter. The kickoff from Carta bounces out of bounds on the right edge. So it's going to be a penalty on Sheldon. We'll see what Sherwood opts to do here. And in fact, they're just going to give it to them at the 35-yard line. So that's where the penalty will take it. The opposing team always has the option of a re-kick from 5 yards back, or they take it at their own 35. The Bowmen opt for the latter. They'll take it 1st and 10.
I feel as if Sherwood could get something going on this drive, put some points on the board, make it 28-14, they'll have a lot of confidence going in.
Scheidster rolling out to his right off the play action and connects with his receiver. Gets across the 45, up to the 46. That one caught by Isaac Day, the tight end. Able to sneak out there, and a nice connection on 1st down moves the chains right away.
With 5:11 to go in the first half, they've already had more passes completed than they had all of last week. That's their 4th pass thrown. They only had 3 last week.
Greg Lawrence has brought a little bit different playbook here to the second round. Trying to catch Sheldon off guard. 1st down, handoff up the middle. Stormont up to midfield, and that's where he stopped. It's a gain of 4.
Again, those 1st down yardage chunks make those 2nd down and 3rd downs that much easier.
Second down and about 6. From the 49, it's a rollout and a throw for Chidester, looking down the left edge, and he connects with Jacob Reuter. He's tripped up inside the 10, all the way down to the 5. But how about that? That's not your typical triple option. Chidester rainbowing it down the left side, and it's complete. All the way to the 6 is where they mark down Reuter after the trip up. It'll be first and goal for Sherwood.
My goodness, what a throw. Reuter, the tip of his fingers, hauls that one in. First and goal for the Bowmen.
Man goes in motion, handoff up the middle to Stormont. He spins through some contact down to the 4. A flag comes out from the back judge at the end of the play.
Holding on that one, I saw that. I could be wrong, but I saw holding way up here.
We'll have to see, and it always depends sometimes on where the flag is thrown from, too. This one came from the back judge. Curious as to what it was he saw at the end to throw that flag out there. It is going to be unsportsmanlike, rather an unnecessary roughness going against Sheldon. That's half the distance to the goal, so we'll go to about the 3-yard line. Replay first down. Chidester under center. Man in motion, it's Guerra. He'll take the handoff around the right edge, and he finds his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Sherwood. The Bowmen strike right back. A 3-yard touchdown run by Jamison Guerra cuts the lead in half.
I'm curious what Lawrence said to his team after the first quarter. They were not able to move the ball at all in that first quarter. Second quarter, they've put now, pending this extra point, 14 points on the board. A lot of offensive changes made after that first quarter, and they seem to be working.
Steindorf through the uprights, completes the drive at just 5 plays, going in total 65 yards for Sherwood. Not the typical offensive drive for the Bowmen, that big play from Chidester to Reuter, but set up the touchdown run from Guerra. And just have to think, if they can continue to connect on those big passes, it's going to put them in pretty good position to keep putting up points, which it may not be the style that they would like to play, but chances are when you're playing Sheldon, you're going to have to find a way to put up quite a few points.
I agree. This second quarter, you've seen a lot of offensive production from the Bowmen. And if it were not for that 4th and 13 completion to Herbert, it'd be a completely different ball game. It's those stops late in downs, late in possessions, that's going to make the difference for this Bowman team. Giving the ball back to the Irish, if they can hold the offensive line, contain Johnson and Herbert and Burgess, they're gonna put themselves in a position to succeed.
3:40 to play in the half. Sherwood now getting set to kick it off from our right. Sheldon, bunch of guys stacked up at the front, preparing for an onside kick, but they will kick this one deep. Folsom tracks back to watch this one bounce inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchback.
Sheldon's been very successful with short amount of time on their possessions, and with 3:40, I'd try to go for almost the opposite. I'd try to take some time off the clock and find a way to put points on the board without giving the ball back to Sherwood.
Find a way to grind out a drive here and go to the locker room, maybe with a 3-score lead back intact. 28-14 our score as it sits. The Irish come out in an empty set with Johnson Jr. He's accounted for all 28 points here tonight. It's a fake end around, a run up for him to the gut, and he goes to the 25 before being tripped up. Gain of 5.
Brian Cuthbertson. That was a tackle on that one. He saved probably a 20-yard gain on that one. Grab Johnson Jr. by the foot, bringing up a 2nd and 5.
Have to grab it whatever you can when Johnson Jr. comes by, because he's only going to be there for a split second before he's past you. 2nd and 5. Empty set again for Johnson Jr. Josh Line has really loved this look here tonight, but Burgess motions in and takes the end around. cutting it up the middle to the 30 for the first down, and to the 32 is where he stopped. It's a pickup of 7. It's going to be a fresh set of downs. Thanks for following along here on our Friday Night Spotlight on KWVA2. But if you want, you can stay connected to your favorite school and team with the OSAA Live mobile app. OSAA Live features schedules, results, rankings, and standings for all teams and leagues, plus statewide prep news. Search OSAA Live in the App Store and Google Play, or visit osaa.org/app to download today. First down and 10. It's going to be a delayed handoff left side for Burgess. Gets around the edge to the 40 and still on his feet into midfield, and then to the 40 before spinning off and down to the ground from a tackler, but a flag out.
Absolutely, flag on the play there. It seems as though he was stopped around the 42-yard line, found a way for some second effort, and took it 25 yards even farther to the 32. That one's coming back.
It's going to be an illegal use of hands against the Irish. It's from the spot of the foul, so in the end, not all that costly, but it does take him back to the 30-yard line, a loss of 2. We'll make it first down and 12.
What is illegal hands? I'm not exactly sure.
I believe that's illegal hands to the face.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go. I understand that one.
Sorry, shorthanding it for you. 2:20 to play in the first half. Sheldon, a first and 12 now after the penalty on the long run, brings it back. Burgess remains the back. He's going to flare out, catch the swing pass, shakes off one defender, spinning past another, and the ball comes out at the end as he gets across the 30, and Sherwood thinks they have it. And they do. They come out on top of the pile with it. It was Jacob Reuter that recovered the fumble. Burgess, as he tried to spin to get back to the line of scrimmage, he coughs it up, and Sherwood takes it back.
Reuter read that one like a book. Found Folsom in the backfield, had him right before he caught it, hit the ball out of his hands, and now Sherwood has an opportunity to make it a one-possession game. No one would have guessed that in the first quarter. 1:57 remaining. They take the ball from the 31.
Yeah, they get it
with 3 timeouts left.
Yeah, they get it back in a great situation. Enough time on the clock to score, enough time to wind it down and not give Sheldon the ball back either. Here it's going to be a double reverse and a throw coming, but he's going to keep rolling out. It's Bullfinch that has the ball, and he's going to just take it forward for a gain of maybe 1 yard, and that's it.
Flag on the play, though. Charlie, he was a while back there. The play must have called for a pass. He had a running lane. He didn't take it, though.
Charlie Bullfinch, not a guy that gets a lot of touches on this offense, came in there and obviously has some type of skill set that Lawrence thought he could take advantage of on that double reverse and then throw. But a lot of flags out on the backside, and we'll see who this is on. It's going against the Irish. It's going to be a holding in the secondary. And that's kind of the concern as well. When you get one of those trick plays for the defense, some guys just start grabbing at shirts, wanting to make sure that nobody gets behind them.
Desperation at that point. You see the trick play, you see that they're going to throw the ball. What do? You just grab the wide receiver, make sure nothing bad happens.
So we have some confusion here for the chains. So they give Sherwood all the way up to the 22, which I'm not sure of the spot on this foul necessarily. Usually holding is just 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Yet they've moved this ball all the way up to the 22. And it's going to be first down and 10 for the Bowmen. So the officials have sorted it out, I believe. The clock continues to run now, down to 1:30. It's going to be a handoff to Guerra around the right edge. Stop shy of the 15, up near the 17. Pickup of just a couple on first down. Sherwood does have to move a little bit quickly here. Down to about 75 seconds to play in the first half, trailing 28-14. Score here could make it just a one-score difference at the half. Bernhardt, the quarterback, dropping back to throw, and he's going to be swung down for the sack. It's Parker Wiles, the junior linebacker, coming around the outside and bringing down Bernhardt for a loss of about 5.
That's almost the worst thing that could happen for Sherwood. You're in the red zone there, or nearly the red zone, the 22-yard line. And when you don't throw the ball a lot, when your quarterback drops back, he doesn't know to get rid of it. And he doesn't get rid of it in time, and it's a loss.
49.7 seconds. Greg Lawrence and the Bowmen take a timeout. Now they spot the ball all the way back at the 28-yard line. It's going to be about a 3rd and 16, and for Sherwood, they've broken out a lot of interesting play calls here in the passing game, but a lot of those have happened on non-expected passing downs. When Sheldon can drop back there and expect the pass, it's going to be awfully hard for the Bowmen to find consistent success here, but they badly need it, trying to pull closer before the half.
Especially with not that many reps of throwing the ball. If you ask me, you got to put a touchdown on the board. A field goal means nothing.
3rd and 16. It's going to be a delayed handoff here right up the middle and nothing going. A lot of distractions going on in the backfield for Bernhardt before he handed it off to Stormont, but he's stopped at the 31-yard line. A timeout will be taken with 42.6 seconds remaining, and that one charged to the Irish. They'll have 2 left, and it's going to be 4th now and 19 for Sherwood. Almost seems here like their best option may be to try to just punt it and really pin Sheldon back, but it's kind of the interesting area where when you're a triple option team, do you even have a play for 19 yards in your back pocket?
That's a great question. And if you were to go with the punt, there's a lot of touch on that one. What is it? They're on the 31-yard line. You take it back 7 or 10. So you're at the 41. It's difficult to not put it back.
Well, how about this? They are going to kick it, but they're going to try a field goal attempt here. This one, a 48-yarder for Caden Steindorf, the junior. The hold by Cade Chidester. The hold is down. The kick, a line drive, and it's well short and to the left. No good off the foot of Steindorf. It keeps our score at 28-14, 38.8 seconds to go in the half. And that's plenty of time for the Sheldon Irish.
When you don't have a play for 19 yards and you can't punt the ball particularly well, might as well try the field goal. Comes up unsuccessful. 39 seconds left to go in the half. Completely enough time for Michael Johnson Jr. and the Sheldon Irish to drive down the field and put some points on the board.
Johnson Jr. steps into the backfield with Burgess to his right, trips to the right, and one receiver out to the left. It's going to be a keeper for Johnson Jr. off the option, going around the right edge, hit at the 29 and falling forward to the 31. They'll stop the clock with 31.5 seconds for resetting the chains. It was a pickup of 11. Now they start it back up, under 30 seconds to go. 1st and 10 from the 31. Trips to the left now for Johnson Jr., but a handoff up the middle to Burgess. He's stopped at the 35, make it the 36. It's a gain of just 5. And no urgency now for Sheldon, and also an injured Irish player down on the field. Looks like it's Hayden Bass, one of the offensive tackles. Or maybe, in fact, that's Seth Meyer.
Looks like Seth Meyer, number 76.
Yes, and it is Seth Meyer. Meyer, a junior offensive lineman for Sheldon. 12.9 seconds to go in this first half. The Irish leading 28-14. Sherwood with an opportunity to pull within 7. As it sits, I have to think the Bowmen will be kicking themselves. We'll likely go to the halftime locker room with our score as it is.
If you ask me, I would have thought that Sheldon would have played with a little bit more urgency on this drive. They had 2 timeouts in their pocket. They have more than enough strength on their offensive line and players to drive down the field and put some points on the board. But they opted to play conservative and head into the locker room what looks is going to be 28-14.
Shows maybe the confidence of Josh Line as well. Thanks for tuning in here on KWVA2, a part of our Friday night spotlight, and also watching here on SheldonAthletics.com for the second round of the 2018 OSAA State Championships, as Myers helped off, putting no weight on his right foot. And by the way, you can get your state championship merchandise from www.osaastore.com. Commemorative t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and much more. You can even order championship items from previous years. It's all at www.osaastore.com. Clock running here with the ball reset, and we'll just tick down under 5 seconds and all the way down to 0. Sheldon won't run another play, and that does it for the first half of action. 28-14 our score. Number 3 Sheldon leading number 14 Sherwood. And at times, you can look at this score and say it's not really indicative of the game, because at times it felt like Sheldon was blowing out the Bowmen, and for a good portion of the game they were. But at the same time, Sherwood was right there, just 20 yards out from being within a touchdown of the Irish. So it's kind of hard to get a feel for where these two teams are really at, and I think part of that comes from just the clash of these two styles.
Absolutely. You have the triple option in Sherwood. It was just blatantly unsuccessful in the first quarter. They begin to go a little bit more with the passing, a little more success there. Lost an opportunity to end the half. They're going to take the ball first in the second half, and if they can score a touchdown on there, it's going to be a completely different second half, because it's going to be a 1-touchdown game. A lot of confidence in the Sherwood Bowmen. We have a lot of football to get excited for.
Yeah, still a lot of action left here tonight from Sheldon High School. The Irish leading 28-14. And I think you do just look at it right now for Sherwood. They have plenty to be confident in, because they, I think, went outside their comfort zone a little bit offensively, throwing way more passes, taking some shots downfield, and not all of them paying off, but enough to keep them in striking distance of the Irish. And it kind of feels like, they come out, the very first play is an onside kick attempt. They're being aggressive, and I don't think there's really anything else you can ask for, other than they're going to have to hope that they can do some things defensively to cause Sheldon to get into some mistakes, and hope that a few more of those chances pay off more than they did in the first.
I completely agree. You're heading into the locker room as Sherwood with a blocked punt, an unsuccessful field goal, going into the red zone, and a botched onside kick, and you're only down 14 points. You have a lot to be working with. A lot of success seen in that second quarter that can be transitioned over into the second half.
By the way, we see Seth Meyer of Sheldon carted back to the locker room, so we'll keep you updated on his status, but for the time being, seems like he may be out for the rest of this second round. Let's go to a break here on KWVA2. We'll send it back into our KWVA studios, where Brooklyn Loisel is awaiting you for a Sports Desk update, give you some updates from some collegiate scores, maybe some Pac-12 scores, maybe some other Oregon High School scores as well. And here on SheldonAthletics.com, we'll let you watch and follow along with the halftime festivities at Dennis Ludwig Stadium. But as it sits, 28-14, number 3 Sheldon leading number 14 Sherwood in the second round of the 6A Football State Championships. You're listening to KWVA2.
far as things on the pitch, raise funds for children of network, and we will be able to take care of units to the pediatrics. All right, contestants, working your way out. Good job, you guys. At this time, we're not allowed to do logs and pushes out. They can come around with their buckets. Hang on, not the music on. Yep. Glad we wait for the music. All right, you guys, right there, ready to hit the goal number 2. Ready for a great cause. The first game that we have for Pictures Irish 2019. You guys have only about 2 minutes, contestants. Move quickly.
I think for the most part we're still doing it. Yeah, but it happens like when I need to start like getting the way out there. But no, I think for the most part, I always think of advice when I was a basketball, not watching. Yeah, no, I think it's some good.
Thank you very much. Going for a great cause. Thank you, Sherwood. Fans as well. Steve up there. Thank you, Sherwood fans. Supporting children for that. What kids helping today.
Something like that. I'd say on some of the touchdowns, trying to find like, because like there's been some guys where you haven't really had like, anything other than go off of, like trying to just find
All right, guys. What's happening now? The time you got out.
and there's like that
minutes. All right, got it.
but yeah, I'd say try to find some snippets like that, but I think so far you're doing it. Hopefully I get a little bit more of a rhythm now in the second half. It's also
This year's event. Good job, guys. We'll get them one of the three advisors.
Mark is what I was yeah. It's like, and not that that's bad. It's a lot of
take it two ways. I guess.
Yeah, I like that. Right. Exactly. I like that answer. And then Brad's called Bummer.
When we come back and this is
We're trying to pass along a couple of scores as we give them to you. 5A quarterfinal action at Churchill High School at halftime. Thurston 21, Churchill 14. Just before half, to the north of us, Wesleyan leads Lake Ridge 20 to 14. Tiger leads Barlow 24-14 at half. Silverton on top of West Albany 16 to 14. West Salem trails Clackamas 17 to 7.
I was telling him, the first thing we did when we landed is I went and checked in the car, and it was covered in sand. He told me there's no place to vacuum. And I opened it up, and there's no car wash.
Oh, the red one?
I told him, people are paying money to ride this bike, and they still just trash.
Welcome back to the Friday Night Spotlight here on KWVA2, live from Dennis Ludwig Stadium for the second round of the 6A OSAA Football State Championships. I'm Alex Castle, joined by Bill Breaker as number 3 Sheldon leads number 14 Sherwood 28 to 14, a couple minutes away from getting the action back underway. And real quick, before we look at this game, I want to give you a little bit of a rundown of what is going on elsewhere around the state of Oregon. A lot of high school action on the 5A level. They're in the quarterfinals. And then 7 other games going on here at the 6A level. Everybody vying for a berth in the quarterfinals. Real quick, we'll start at the top of the bracket. We don't have a score update for the moment as Lake Oswego and Oregon City take each other on. That's the 1-16 matchup. But in the 8-9 matchup, Central Catholic trailing Tualatin at home 7-0 at the half. And then at the 4-20 matchup is Reynolds, who upset South Medford last week, the lone team to win on the road in the first round. They trail number 4 Jesuit 28-0 at the half. And then below that, we have number 5 Tigard hosting number 12 Barlow. The Tigers, they lead 24 to 14 through the first 2 quarters. Then down on the bottom half of the bracket, where Sheldon occupies the number 3 seed, they lead 28-14 here. But the teams that they are watching tonight is the 6 and 11 matchup between West Lynn and Lake Ridge. Right now, it's West Lynn leading 20 to 14 near the end of that second quarter. Then below that, we have number 7 Liberty hosting number 10 Sunset, and a little bit of an upset brewing there. Sunset leading 28 to 16 nearing halftime. And then the number 2 seed Clackamas, a commanding 17 to 7 lead over West Salem right now. Those are all your scores throughout 6A, and a little bit of an update for a local team here over at the 5A level and on our own KWVA networks. You can jump over to 88.1 FM or on our main online stream here on kwvaradio.org. Number 2 Churchill hosting number 7 Thurston for the 3rd time this season. The 2 teams from the Midwestern League matchup, and right now Sheldon leads 21 to 14. But as Sheldon gets the roar of their Dennis Ludwig Stadium crowd back as they take the fields, getting set to start action again against Sherwood. It's been a matchup of 2 differing styles tonight, Bill, and Sheldon, their quick strike offense has certainly won out thus far, but Sherwood has used some big plays of their own to keep themselves in it. It's just a matter of how many more can they generate here in the second half to keep it going.
Yeah, Sheldon was prepared for the triple option, like every team should be. They only threw 3 passes last week, but we've seen a lot of balance for this Sherwood team today, and that's probably why they have 14 points up on the board, and it's a 2-possession game as they take the ball to begin the second half.
I do think they'll look back at down to the last 2 minutes of that second quarter. They got the ball back off of a fumble from Sheldon, one of their 2 turnovers in the first half. And they had the ball in the red zone, an opportunity to go down just one touchdown before the half. They got backed up, got a turnover on downs, and gave it back to Sheldon to end that half, or rather, excuse me, not a turnover on downs. They attempted a log field goal that didn't work out, left us at 28-14. Sherwood, can you take some confidence from that as well? But it also begs the question of, was that their opportunity to really put themselves in this game?
Oh, it was absolutely their opportunity. What was it, 2 minutes to go in the half? They get a fumble at the within the 30-yard line, and they have an opportunity. They're knocking on the door, and the sack takes them back. That was absolutely their opportunity. So they can establish their confidence back on this possession, in this first possession, the second half, I think.
Yeah, they'll start with the ball in this third quarter, I should say. And we talked about it a little bit before, but these two teams do have some history against each other. A lot of history of success in general, and we talked about it. Sherwood, their last 4 years in 5A, they went to 4 consecutive state championships, winning 2 and losing 2. And they really validated themselves as a program when they jumped up to the 6A level in 2014, and right off the bat met Sheldon in those quarterfinals and went toe-to-toe with the Irish. They led 31-14 heading into the fourth quarter before the Irish rattled off 21 unanswered, to win that game 35-31. In that matchup, Sherwood had given up, or rather had ran for 393 yards. But Kellen Strom, who was the quarterback for the Irish, back way before a guy that many will remember around here, Justin Herbert, he put up in total 385 yards on the ground and through the air. It's a little bit interesting here before we get action going in the second half. We're having a meeting of captains in the middle, and not usually something you see before the third quarter.
I was curious what was up with that. I usually only see that to begin the game. Coin flip, decide what direction each team's going, who's going to take the ball to begin the first half. I wonder what this one's about.
See both sides shaking each other's hands now. Not sure if there was something that the officials felt they needed to bring up with the team captains, maybe a note for each sideline, but it hasn't really been a fiery type of game back and forth between these two teams. You get the sense that there is a great deal of respect between both of these programs that, as we mentioned, when they met a couple years ago, it was a big-time matchup, and they both know how successful each other have been. But Josh Line, the second half is all about him validating his place here as the head coach of the Sheldon Irish in his second year. Overall, his record is 17-4. The one loss that sticks with him the most is the second-round loss to Central Catholic last year. Ended Sheldon's then streak of 11 consecutive trips to the quarterfinals. They can book their ticket in 2018 in just a couple of quarters if they play their cards right. So everything getting set again for the second half. Before we do get going, time to let you know that high school students deserve to participate in sports and activities, but not all can afford it. The goal of the OSAA Foundation Student Assistance Program is access for all to lifelong lessons learned by members of a team. Visit www.osaafoundation.org and discover how you can help.
And before we begin the second half, it seems as though Scott Meyer is back. He has crutches in his hand. My guess is he's not playing for the remainder of this game.
Well, it's good at least for the Sheldon team to have him on the sideline cheering them on as Carta lines this one away, and it will bounce down in the end zone, and Sherwood will take it off the touchback out to the 25-yard line. First down and 10. Rather the 20, excuse me. Getting caught up in NCAA rules.
Momentum. That's what Sherwood's going to have to establish in this first possession. Can they get the ball running on first down? Chunk yardage on first and second downs. Easy plays on third down. What will Sherwood do to begin the second half? Questions not to be answered.
12 minutes up on the board. Sherwood takes over from their own 20. There'll be a handoff up the middle of the Stormont to start it. Bounces off some tacklers to the 23. Or actually give him just to the 22. A couple yards, second down. And Salisbury, the man there for Sheldon. Sheldon last week was able to just cruise to a second half victory after going up 28-6 in the first half. Not quite as much distance between them and the Bowmen here tonight. Defense trying to start the half off right. Here's going to be a handoff up the middle to Stormont. Fighting through contact, but the ball comes out at the end, and Sheldon jumps on it. The Irish, a quick turnover, and they take it back. 1st and 10 from the 31. It was Matthew Burgess that got his hands on that one, and Burgess, we know what he can do with the ball in his hands, but we're starting to find out just how great of a player he is away from it. He had a blocked punt in the first half, and then there, jumping on the fumble.
Again, giving Sheldon the ball with short yardage. Just when I thought that play was over, second effort, ball pops out late.
Johnson Jr. and the offense take over. It's going to be an option keeper for Johnson Jr. Trying to work to the edge, shakes off one tackle, then exploding down the right sideline to the 25 and stepping out. It's a gain of just about 6 yards. It's one of the more impressive 6-yard runs you'll see.
Yeah, Johnson Jr. found a way to, with 5 yards back behind the line of scrimmage, escape a tackle, dodge ahead for a gain of 6 yards. That's what good quarterbacks do. Make something out of nothing.
Johnson Jr. you can tell when he has the ball in the backfield, even when the pressure is coming and it seems like he is moments away from being thrown down for a sack, the game just moves so slow for him back there. So much patience, able to find his holes, and then use them to his advantage. Man comes in motion here. It's a fake end around. Keeper for Johnson Jr. up the middle to the 20. Carried by a group of his linemen to about the 18. It's going to be enough for the first down. And Sheldon, there's just a couple plays into the red zone.
Yep, that's right. Knocking at the door. 18 yards to go.
This is an important first possession for the Sherwood defense. Don't want to find themselves in too big of a hole in this second half. It's triple option teams. They know, one, they can't really score in a hurry by any means. Plus, there's just the factor of staying motivated and keeping that belief that you can get it done on the road. Blitz comes up the middle. Handoff goes left side for Burgess. Sidesteps a defender inside the 10 for being brought down at the 8.
The blitz came, but excellent blocking by the offensive line for Sheldon. Actually, he ran right where the blitz came from, but nonetheless, a pickup of 7.
10:20 to play in this third quarter. Sheldon leading 28-14. The sticks knocked down after that run from Burgess. It's 1st and goal. From the 7. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Zach Folsom in motion, flags fly. A procedural penalty coming before the snap. This is going to go against the Irish. It's going to be a false start. We'll bring them back to the 12-yard line. Remains 1st and goal. Reminder, over on KWVA Eugene 88.1 FM, you can listen to Thurston and Churchill, the 5A state quarterfinals. It's a battle between two rivals in the MWL. Here, 1st and goal for Sheldon, though. Handoff to Burgess, right side. Grabbed by the leg, but it won't stop Burgess. He reaches in for the score. Touchdown, Sheldon. Burgess, from 12 yards out, gives the Irish their first points of the second half.
Seth Meyer, the junior, might be down, but Madden Salisbury picks up where his offensive lineman partner goes down, and an excellent block for him to lead his teammate into the end zone.
Burgess, whenever he has a hole, he is going to use it to the best of his ability. He met some contact at about the 3. Defender grabbing onto his leg, but he was able to keep his balance just long enough to stretch it across the goal line. Here, the PAT is blocked by Sherwood. A great job by the Bowmen to get their hands up. Looked like that one was Jacob Pollock. Gets his hands on that. Keeps us at a 20-point difference, 34-14 for Sheldon. And And really, it all comes back to that turnover for Sherwood to start off the half, something that they didn't do in that first half. They had the blocked punt. They had a few other mistakes here and there, but it never given the ball right to Sheldon. When you do that deep in your own territory, it's just going to be hard to keep them out of the end zone.
Absolutely, especially when you needed the momentum to begin the second half. Your drive came up short to end the first half, and you needed something to go. Something to get going to begin the second half, and they gave it right to him. Right to 35-yard line. Made it easy for the Sheldon Irish.
Gives Sheldon the 34-14 lead with 9:48 to play. The Irish here tonight playing in their 19th consecutive second-round game. Over that stretch, going all the way back to 1999, the Irish are 14-4. Sherwood, on the other hand, looking for their first time to advance past the second round since 2015 when they lost in the semifinals. The last 2 years have been exits after one win in the postseason. Carta kicks this one away, a high one, bounces at the goal line and will fall into the end zone for the touchback. Sherwood will start at their own 20-yard line with a 1st and 10, hoping for a better result than their first drive of this half. On just the second play, Ian Stormont coughed up the fumble on a second effort.
If this game goes all the way down to the wire, that extra point could be lethal. This game has been all about touchdowns, and if it goes all the way there, that extra point could be the difference.
And Steindorf for Sherwood has shown he's pretty proficient at kicking it through. They gave him a chance at a 48-yard field goal that he missed. They trust him on PATs. Handoff right side here to Stormont, goes into the crowd, fights forward to about the 23.
That field goal, I believe, was Sherwood.
Yes, Sherwood and Steindorf, I was saying, for the kick there. But I think you look at Sherwood's offense, and aside from that fumble, they've been getting more of that. Some good chunk yardage on 1st and 2nd downs has just made this offense just that much more efficient. Stayed ahead of the sticks, been able to play into their game plan just a little bit more. Here they have a 2nd and 7 from their own 23. It's going to be handoff to Stormont up the middle, and he breaks through the line to the 35 and to the 40, pushing his way forward to the 42. It's a nice run by Stormont. It's a pickup of 14 yards. Rather, 19 yards, excuse me, before Jacob Frey gets there.
Stormont may only be 5'7", but he ran with a lot of vigor right there, right over the top of the linebacker. And then helped him up after he put him down. Great sportsmanship.
Gotta love that. 1st down and 10 from the 40. Rather the 42. Handoff on the outside to Guerra. Finds his way around the edge and breaking to the outside in Sheldon territory. 40, 35, and he steps out of bounds at the 33. And there is how Greg Lawrence wants his offense to run. Pound it up the middle and then attack on the edge.
I was going to say the exact same thing. That is what Lawrence drew up, the triple threat. You pound it down the middle for 2 or 3 plays, and then you run around right by the right edge when they expect it up the middle, and you have a gaping hole, and that's what they saw there.
It's a 1st and 10 up to the Sheldon 33. Sherwood putting together a nice little drive here, trailing 34-14 with 8:40 to play in the 3rd quarter. Here it's a handoff right side to Stormont. He gets through the line to the 25 and snakes his way up to the 20. It's a pickup of 13 yards and another chunk gain moves the chains. Sherwood into the red zone.
I'm not going to call that a big running play, but another 10-yarder plus one, 2 in a row, 2 consecutive. You're getting things rolling, and a touchdown here would be great.
This could be the nature of the triple option as well. You start to chip away at that defensive front. Now in the 3rd quarter of action, everything starts to add up. Handoff here goes to Stormont, leaping over a defender in the backfield, but he's stood up at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be no gain on 1st down. 2nd down and 10.
Seems though every single time that they go for the 3rd option, it's not been as successful as the first 2. They fake the run, fake another, and then the 3rd one, the entire defensive line is in one area. A loss of 1 on that play.
Second down and 11. Seth Bernhardt, the quarterback. He'll hand it off up the middle. This one, Stormont. He's hit from behind at the 10 and falling forward to the 9. It's going to be just enough for the first down. In fact, first down and goal. Stormont really starting to rack up the rushing yards on this drive. Carried the ball 14 times for 130 yards last week. It's part of the 421 total yards Sherwood put up on the ground. Sheldon defense now going to need a goal line stop. First and goal. 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Bernhardt sends a man in motion. He falls down as he hands it off around the edge. Working his way around there is Jack Causey. And he stretches across the goal line for the score. Sherwood from 9 yards out go around the right side. And they're in for the touchdown.
Quarterback fell on that one. Runs in, gets stopped at the 2-yard line, lunges across with the right arm, and gets it in time. And now it's a 14-point game. After this extra point, could be a 13-point game. We're back to a 2-possession game.
Sherwood answering right back as they needed to after Sheldon got their first score of the half. They'll now bring on Steindorf for the PAT. He lofts this one up past the line and through the uprights. No block there for Sheldon to respond with. And it gets us to 34-21, 6:57 to play in the third quarter. And Sheldon finding out pretty quickly that their offense, they can do what they want, but their defense is going to have to really make some plays here to finally put Sherwood away.
Yeah, having a fast offense that has a tendency to score quickly, it's kind of a double-sided sword. Because if you don't score and you take the clock under a minute, your defense is exhausted, especially when the offense is consistently running the ball.
Just becomes the struggle of running this style of offense. Sherwood has found a lot of success with it in their 25 years under Greg Lawrence, but you get these mashup of styles, it really makes it easier for the team that can score quickly, and with all the talent Sheldon has on their side, plus the home field advantage, it's just a lot of odds stacked against Sherwood. They played through them to get us where we're at now, a 2-score difference, 34-21.
Pin the ball back. Do not kick it. Quick.
So here Steindorf kicks it away. No onside kick as Sheldon was preparing for. This one goes to Gunnar Robinson. Works his way up the middle to the 20. Then met and dragged down at the 25. It's Kalen Morgan, in fact, back there. Another guy getting some run as a return man. Sheldon has thrown a lot of different faces back there. All of them been somewhat successful. This one a 25-yard return, and it's first down and 10 for Sheldon.
Seems though, ever since that first kickoff to begin the game, Sheldon's been expecting the onside kick.
Better safe than sorry, I guess.
No, I 100% agree.
Josh Line not wanting to take any chances. He knows that Sherwood is coming at them with that kitchen sink, if you will. Just throwing everything they can tonight at the Irish. Johnson Jr. with Burgess in the backfield. He'll get the handoff left side. It's a crowd of defenders that stop him at the 29. Pickup of 4, second down.
A big opportunity for Sherwood here. Sheldon's pinned back at their 29-yard line. Stops them on first down. Bring up second and 14. Pardon me, second and 9. And if they hold them here, it could be big.
Trips to the right for Johnson Jr. He's going to look that way, quickly throwing screen to Jack Folsom. He's met in the backfield, but shakes past the defender, but then he is walled up. Every single Sherwood defender getting to that side of the field. It's no gain.
Jacob Reuter again. Last time that play call, read it like a book, and he read it like a book again. Third and 6 for the Sheldon Irish. Sherwood has an opportunity to hold them take the ball back, and give themselves an opportunity to stay in this game. And it's going to start on the defensive end of the ball.
5:30 to go in the third quarter. It is 3rd and 5 for Sheldon. Johnson Jr. takes the snap, looking to throw. Sitting in the pocket. Now flushed out to his right. At the sideline, trying to spin past the sack, and he is going to be stopped. Thrown down for the sack. It's Logan Carr that finally gets him. It took a trio of defenders, but Johnson Jr. couldn't avoid them all. It's a loss back to the 18-yard line. 4th and very long. Sheldon has to punt. An important stop for Sherwood.
Absolutely. Nick Severton was in on that one. I think this is the first time Sheldon's had a punt, and it comes at a great time for Sherwood.
Patrick Herbert, the punter, standing at his own 3. 2 men back for Sherwood. Caden Reinhardt along with Ryan Scroggin. It's a low snap, but it's gathered and punted away. Lands at the 49, now rolling to midfield. There won't be a return as Sheldon downs it at the 48 of Sherwood. 1st and 10, and no return, but good starting field position for the Bowmen in this, now their most important possession since that possession that they had started in the red zone, down by 14. Now they're down by 13. This is their opportunity to get within 1 score.
Yeah, probably the best opportunity they've had other than the fumble in the first half. They drove down the field effortlessly, stopped them a 3 and out, and now they have a ball on their 48-yard line with an opportunity to put some points on the board, and a great time.
1st down and 10. Handoff up the middle to Stormont, going through the line to the 40, all the way down to the 38. Run right up the gut, but Sheldon can't stop it.
Stormont was the leading rusher in their round 1 game. 14 carries for 130 yards. He seems to be the guy that Lawrence looks for, especially in a triple option like this.
It's the most consistent runner that they have. So now it's Scheidzer under center at quarterback. Shifting around the formation before the snap. 1st and 10 from the 40. Handoff around the outside for Guerra. Working around the right edge to the 30, to the 25, 20, 15, 10. 5 still on his feet. Trucking into the end zone. Touchdown, Sherwood.
My, oh my. Took that baby to the house. Jamming up the middle. 2 run plays in a row up the middle. Lawrence decides we're going with the first option of the triple option. Right on the right. Picks up an excellent block at the 30-yard line. Goes through a few defenders within the 10, and he punches it in. Pending this extra point, it is a 1-possession game. A second-half effort for Sherwood.
It could be a 6-point game. So this PAT is through, and it's a high arcing one, and it gets through the uprights. 34-28, 4:25 to go in the in the third quarter. And Sheldon, they're back on their heels a little bit now. This is the first time they've given up consecutive scores without scoring themselves. And their lead now has shrunk. The pressure back on the Irish sideline.
Yeah, you thought the momentum was with Sheldon following the fumble they received on the first possession. But after they were stopped at 3 and out and forced to punt, and then allowing a 48-yard touchdown like that one, I think Sherwood's got the momentum now. It's a 1-possession game.
What a turnaround in this second half for this offense. Now coming into this year, after going 5-6 last year, they were then in the Three Rivers League. They lost in the second round, a shutout, 45-0 at Lake Oswego. It was their first time finishing below 500 since 2003, and just the third time ever in their 25 years under Greg Lawrence that they fell below 500. They're trying to avoid that again this year, sitting at 5-5 tonight. He returns just 2 offensive starters from a year before. And so far here tonight, they are battling with number 3 Sheldon on the road. 34-28 in the third quarter. Steindorf on to kick it away. He'll kick it deep. Sheldon this time not even worrying about the onside kick. This one will be taken up the left side to the 30, to the 32. Where Matthew Burgess goes on the return. Be a first down and 10 coming up for Sheldon.
Strong kick return for the Irish. Puts themselves in an opportunity to get things going. They're on their 32. How will they bounce back after the first time that they had a 3-and-out, forced a punt for the first time last possession? A lot of time to think for Michael Johnson Jr. and the rest of his offense.
4:18 to play in the third. Sheldon looking for a response on offense. Burgess the back on the left shoulder of Johnson Jr. Trips to the right, and now Burgess will motion into the left-hand slot. And now works his way to the right side of the formation. Johnson Jr., a keeper up the middle, now bouncing it to the left side. To the 35, and he'll step out of bounds at the 37.
Johnson Jr. again making something out of nothing. Ran on the right, put his foot right on the ground, pivoted, ran to the left. Didn't even try to attack upfield. Went out of bounds. Smart decision for Johnson Jr. Bringing up a 2nd and 5.
Johnson Jr. here checking to get the call from the sideline. It's been dynamic tonight. Counted for every single one of the team's touchdowns in the first half. Burgess with a big run to start the second half. It's been 13, or rather 14 straight from Sherwood. It's a keeper for Johnson Jr. up the middle. Gets to about the 40, and that's it. He's pushed back. Sherwood's sideline is fired up. It's a pickup of just a couple. Johnson Jr. has to get helped up by his linemen. Been taking a lot of licks here tonight. It's 3rd down and 3.
You know, you watch a play like that, that one to me just seems like all effort. You watch all the defenders. Everyone's setting the edge for Sheldon. Lackluster effort. Sherwood, on the other hand, playing with their entire heart. Stopping them. Now it's a 3rd and 3.
Who wants it more on this 3rd and short? 3:30 to play in the third. 34-28 Sheldon. Zach Folsom motion from right to left. Burgess the back, he'll take the carry. Going up the middle now, bounces to the right side. He has the first down and more to midfield and falling forward to the 49. Stop comes from Jacob Reuter, but not before Burgess gets the first down. First down and 10 for Sheldon.
All open field running for Burgess on that one. Excellent block set up field. It ran about 7 yards without a defender within 3 yards of him. That's what you love to see as a running back, especially as an offensive lineman.
All the way up to the 49 and into Sherwood territory. Empty set for Johnson Jr. Burgess is strung out in the slot to the left. Johnson Jr. checking with the sideline, some confusion. As Lane Shields comes in and he'll take the carry. No, keeper for Johnson Jr. right side. He bursts up to the 40 before being tripped up to the 38. Pickup of 11 moves the chains. Sheldon almost taking a page from Sherwood's playbook, really just using a lot of motion right now, fake end arounds and fake handoffs to confuse the defense and open up these running lanes for Johnson Jr.
And it's even more confusing for the defense when you have a quarterback in shotgun.
It's a little bit easier to see maybe, but with how fast Johnson Jr. is, it's any little bit of hesitation can open the door. Here, it's another keeper for him up the middle to the 35, 30, tripped up inside the 25 to the 24. Johnson Jr. just so much speed off the first step that as soon as that hole is there, he's able to just get up 5 yards and all of his momentum carrying him forward for a first down.
They also seem to give it to him in every situation like this. It's 3 plays in a row they've given it to him up the middle.
Not afraid to let their senior quarterback lead them there. The Irish up 34-28, under 2 minutes to go now in the third quarter. Zach Folsom motions across the formation left to right. Handoff to Burgess, right side. He's chopped down inside the 20 to the 18. And there you go. A way just to spell Johnson Jr. on the ground with a guy like Burgess. And how about him as a second option?
Yeah, that's quite lethal. Folsom and Burgess. And Burgess had 3 touchdowns last week. Just when you stopped one, there's another guy.
And even for Sheldon, you can say, if you stop the first 2, there's still another guy and maybe even another guy after that. Empty set now for Johnson Jr., 2nd down and 3. Takes the snap, rolling to his left, looking to throw, lobbing it into the back of the end zone, and it's tipped away into double coverage there. A very dangerous throw.
Very dangerous throw. You're knocking on the door. You're at the 18-yard line. You're in the red zone. I'd have nothing to do with that. If I'm Johnson Jr., I'm taking that one. I'm running that one myself around the left edge.
It seemed like he thought that he could get it to Gunnar Robinson on the backside fade. So he really just tried to put some touch on it, but Sherwood, nice read in the secondary to be all over it. Brings up 3rd down and 3 now. Ball spot at the 18, got to get to the 15. Johnson Jr. raises his right leg twice and takes the snap. Option play to the left, and he slips down in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of about 1 yard, and Johnson Jr. is grabbing at his right knee.
Uh-oh, that is not good.
The senior quarterback writhing around in pain right now on the field, and this is a bad sign for any fan of football right now. The dynamic quarterback down on the turf, and immediately on the Sheldon sideline, out comes Josh Line's son, Griffin Line, the quarterback, for some warm-up throws.
Griffin Line has seen some action this year. You want to go back to the first 2 weeks? Michael Johnson Jr. was down with a different injury, the collarbone. Pardon me, shoulder?
It was a separated shoulder at the beginning of the year, yes.
Yeah, and ESPN was in town for week 1. And head coach Josh Line went to his son, Griffin Lines, for action. Successful day then, but it is really sad to see if you're an Irish fan, and really a football fan, to see the starting quarterback go down. Johnson Jr., the senior, big guy, 205 pounds, 6'4", a Division I commit. His father, the wide receiver coach over at the University of Oregon, dealing with a lot of big guys. He's putting absolutely no weight on what is his right foot. That is not good for the Irish.
Yeah, gingerly walking off. Now he is using his right leg a little bit, but you can tell he's not really extending that knee. And everybody here at Sheldon High School, and every fan of this program holding their breath a little bit for the time being. Now the concern's not just about what this means for this game, but what this means moving forward in the 2018 postseason. It's 4th down and short, and Sheldon will attempt a field goal. This one, a 37-yard attempt. The line drive from Kartum is through. 37 yards out. Kartum didn't give it much air, but he didn't need it. Finds enough to fit it through. And it's 37-28 Sheldon. What an important way to add on to their lead a little bit here and salvage something out after what may look like a disastrous injury.
Absolutely. I mean, if that field goal is not good, you give Sherwood the ball back with an opportunity to not only score and take the lead, but also with the starting quarterback for Sheldon down. In addition, that gives time for Johnson Jr. to be assessed down in the 10th and Griffin Line to get a look at the playbook before he has the ball, if given the opportunity. That's a bigger field goal than you would think. And that was very long. What was it, 37 yards?
37 yards from Kartum. For Kartum, that definitely his longest of the season. Coming into tonight, he had kicked just 3 all year, the longest being 30 yards. So they trust their sophomore kicker, and he shows them why they should maybe give him some more looks like that, and kicker could come into play here down the stretch of this game and maybe later in the postseason as well. 42 seconds to go in the third quarter, 37-28 Sheldon. The Irish kicking it away from our left. Kartum approaches and kicks this one deep. Reinhardt will let this one bounce into the back of the end zone for a touchback. Sherwood out to the 20-yard line with a 1st down and 10.
I hate to go back to that missed extra point, but if Sherwood would drive down to the field and score a touchdown and make that extra point, it's a 2-point game opposed to a 3-point game. Meaning that if this game goes down the stretch, a field goal could be the difference. It could win it opposed to tie it. Special teams, so big.
Plus, we've had things like the failed onside kick, blocked punt. Everything comes to play in the postseason. Sherwood now, 1st and 10. And here the ball pops out on the handoff. It was Bernhardt who fell down, and Sheldon recovers. The second fumble of the half. This one again goes into the hands of the Irish. And the momentum all on their side once again.
And it will be Griffin Line that'll take the snaps for Sheldon. But wow.
So much for time to get settled on the sideline and get the offense in order. Johnson Jr. still lying down on his back on the training table on this near sideline as Griffin Line steps out. The junior 6'2" quarterback with Burgess in the backfield to his left. He'll hand it off. So he goes around the right side now, inside the 20 to the 15. Shoestring tackle holds him up as he pushes his way forward to the 13-yard line. A pickup of 7 for Sheldon. Probably get down to the end of this quarter here, but this possession altogether could be a huge one. Could go up by 3 scores once again. Could really make things difficult for Sherwood heading into the fourth quarter.
His dad also making that one a little, easing him into it. Not making him throw the ball, hands it off, take it around the right edge. And we're done with 3 quarters.
Clock strikes 0 on quarter number 3. 37 to 28. Number 3 Sheldon leading number 14 Sherwood. For now, it's a question mark as to Johnson Jr.'s health and what it is that is bothering him as he is getting his right knee looked at on the sideline. But the Irish in control heading into quarter number 4 in the second round of the OSAA 6A state championships. By the way, this is the 100th year of the OSAA centennial, if you will. A 36-member association in 1918 with only 1 championship at the time in boys basketball. Today, the OSAA has 292 schools, more than 100,000 student athletes, and 117 state titles to hand out every single season. Let's celebrate the OSAA centennial. Visit www.osaa.org. 12 minutes to go in this one. Sheldon, the 9-point advantage in this drive here for Griffin Line, is first on the field at quarterback, maybe the most important.
Absolutely. I'm going to go back to these turnovers for a second. In the first half, the turnovers that Sherwood had didn't seem to bite him in the butt.
Here it's second down and short handoff up the middle for Burgess, going right through the line and launching himself into the end zone. Touchdown, Sheldon. A quick strike in the fourth quarter puts Sheldon up by 3 possessions.
Sheldon strikes so fast, I didn't even get the opportunity to finish my thought. What I was saying in the first half is that nothing seemed to bite them in the butt. But now, 2 fumbles, those 2 turnovers have led to 2 points, have led to 2 touchdowns. This one only took 2 plays.
I did misspeak a little bit because that touchdown does put Sheldon up now by 15. So this PAT will make it technically still a 2-score game. Kartub can kick it through the uprights. No problem for Kartub. He's been perfect outside of that one he had blocked. 11:54 to play in this one. 44-28 for Sheldon. And Sherwood, they've got to put something together now immediately. But just a brief update, during that PAT, Michael Johnson Jr. got up, was starting to run up and down the sideline, and he is now throwing on the sideline for Sheldon. It seemed like not even 5 minutes ago, the door was wide open for Sherwood in this game. Johnson Jr. seemed like he had just taken an injury that may hold him out for the remainder of the game with the way he got taken off the field. They were up by just 9 points. There was a backup quarterback in the game, and now the lead back up to 16. Sheldon looks like they may be at full strength as well. Sherwood back up against the wall. It's where they've been all night. It's just, do they have anything left in them in this fourth quarter?
Yeah, the door was wide open for Sherwood. Like you said, I got a question for you. If Sherwood were to score here, it's a 16-point game. Do you definitely go for two?
I think you have to, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
You have to, you can only bet on maybe having two possessions that end in scores. You've only put up 28 through the first three quarters. Be outdoing your average on the night if you could even do that. Skartum kicks it away. Stepping up to take it is Reinhardt. Goes up the middle to the 20-yard line, and nothing else. As good as a touchback, it's 1st and 10 for Sherwood. Their first play from scrimmage on their last drive ended in a fumble. They've had 2 drives in this second half alone that they've run just 3 plays and fumbled the ball away to Sheldon twice. They just can't afford to do that. No more mistakes for the Bowmen will keep them in this. Their margin of error just so little.
Yeah, those 2 turnovers have led to 2 touchdowns in under 3 plays. Not only are they fumbling it, but they're fumbling it at poor places, poor location on the field.
Handoff up the middle for Stormont. Getting some extra help from the offensive line as well as he pushes his way all the way to the 24. It's a pickup of 4, 2nd down. .20 to play. 2nd down for Sherwood. Scheidster, the quarterback, he's under center. Man goes in motion, but whistles stop us as flags come out.
Still looks like a question mark at quarterback for Sheldon, though. Griffin Line is warming up. Can't seem to locate Michael Johnson Jr. He's walking around with the headset on.
And that's where it will come down. It has to be kind of a decision, right, if you're Josh Line. It will depend on what the defense does here as to whether or not you really feel the need to put Johnson Jr. back in the game. So he's doing some quick moves, some jogging up and down the sideline, and he looks healthy. Just have to see if he gets to go. Here out of the shotgun is a play action pass for Scheidster, and he's hit hard as he throws it up. It's incomplete, looking for Guerra, but a flag is out on the backside.
Possibly pass interference by number 25, Lane Shields, on that one. They don't seem to see the throw a lot tonight, so could be desperation when you see the quarterback running around looking for someone to pass to. You just grab the wide receiver in front of you. Looks like it will be pass interference as well. Moving the ball up 10 yards.
For Sherwood, that's an important one. Gives them the 1st down as well. Go all the way up to the 44. In fact, 15 yards on that penalty. 10:49 to play. 1st and 10 for Sherwood from the 44. Scheidster rolling out. Then an option up the middle to Stormont. Bounces it to the left side and dragged down from behind as he gets to the 45. Just nothing going for Sherwood. Get the sense that the Sheldon defense can kind of sense that if they get a big stop here and give the ball back to their offense, they may be just a couple plays away from really putting this game to bed.
I feel as if Sherwood doesn't score here and Sheldon drives down the field, that's the final nail in the coffin. We're under 10 minutes now. A touchdown, it seals the deal.
2nd and 8. Handoff on the outside here. Bouncing inside the 45 and down to the 43 is Causey. Sophomore able to pick up the 1st down into Sheldon territory, but a flag down on Sherwood's side of the field. Wait to see what this flag is. 10:01 to go. This is going to go against Sherwood. It's a hold, a costly one as well. Go all the way back to their own 38-yard line. Will be about a 2nd 16 now. For sure, they've done a good job at not shooting themselves in the foot all that much with penalties, but anytime you do get one, they just get behind the sticks, and all of a sudden it looks an awfully long distance to go for the first down.
Especially after a big chunk yardage play like that, to have that one taken back, that kind of kills your morale.
So disheartening. Second down and long. Snap bobbled but collected by Chidstor, rolling out to his left, firing and complete to Guerra. He bounces through a tackler to the 47. That will stop him. It was Jack Causey, in fact, on the reception. Chidstor made some plays back there at quarterback when called upon.
Absolutely, you really love to see that. When the snap gets muffled off the right hand, he remains calm, composed, steps up in the pocket, delivers a nice pass to the left side of the field on the far sideline. And now it's a pretty manageable 3rd and 6, possibly 4-down territory, though.
9 minutes to go, 3rd and 6. Chidstor takes the snap, sweep to the right, but looking to throw is Guerra, going deep down the right side. Flags come out. He was looking there for Bullfinch. It's incomplete, but looks like obvious pass interference or maybe just a hold against Sheldon, but the call will depend how many yards Sherwood picks up.
Every big passing play, anything that goes downfield, it's as though the Sheldon defenders are kind of in panic mode.
This one is going to be pass interference on Sheldon, another 15-yard gain. Maybe this is the game plan now for Sherwood. You keep just forcing Sheldon to interfere with your receivers when you test them deep.
Not a bad game plan. It's been working out. 1st and 10 from the Irish 37.
There's going to be a sweep to the left. It's Scroggin trying to find space, and he has none. He's dropped in the backfield at the 40.
Denied in the backfield.
They do give him forward progress up to the 38, so he's able to pick up actually not even pick up any yardage, just a loss of 1 rather than 3. 2nd down and long. By the way, an update from the game that will determine who plays the winner of this one. Number 6 Westland and number 11 Lake Ridge. The Lions running away with it 41-14 right now going into the 4th. To roll out to the right now for Chidstor, uncorking it down the right side and just too far, incomplete. He was looking for Jacob Reuter, if you remember, connected on a deep pass back in the 2nd quarter. It was the longest passing play for Sherwood tonight, nearly connected once again.
Irish defenders, who was that in coverage? That was, where is he? The cornerback, who was that?
I believe it was Kalen Morgan.
Kalen Morgan, yeah, that sounds right. Kalen Morgan played well on that one. Didn't hold, no pass interference, no holding downfield.
8 minutes to go, and it's 3rd down and 11 after the incompletion. 44-28, Sheldon leads. Chidstor looking to throw. An underneath pass is bobbled and then knocked away, and it's incomplete. Sheldon diving on the ball as if it's a fumble, but it was never complete. They're trying to get it, I think, to Isaac Day, who's wide open underneath. Sheldon gave him the space. He just thought too hard about trying to get the first down after.
It looked like he caught it and then tried to lateral it to someone. What's the name of that play? I'm drawing a
hook
blank.
and ladder.
A hook and ladder, that was it. Looked like a hook and ladder in that one. He had complete control and tried to lateral it too, but I guess he never had full possession of it before he attempted the lateral.
Can hear here as the Sheldon crowd gets loud. They know this is an important play. 4th and 11. Sherwood going to go for it. Chidstor sits in the shotgun. 2 receivers strung out to his right. He sends Reuter in motion. Play action on the end around, then flares it out to him on that left side. Reuter completes it, stretching for the first down marker, but they're going to mark him down short. It's a turnover on downs. The Irish get the stop.
I have no issue with that play call. A good old play action play and go right back to the running back who they attempt who the fake was to. They needed 11 yards. You know what they got? They got 10 and a half. Not enough. Giving the ball back to the Irish.
That one hurts if you're Sherwood. 7:43 to play now. Sheldon can see the finish line. Leading by 16. They'll start from their own 29. First down and 10.
And it's Griffin Line out there. Johnson Jr., or really Sheldon playing conservative, leaving him on the sidelines.
Defense gets a stop and now allows Griffin Line to be out there. So he'll keep the ball himself, trying to find some room up the middle. He falls to the 30-yard line for a gain of 1. Sheldon now going to really take their time, chew up some clock. Griffin Line has come in several times this season in this position where he just needed to burn off the remaining time. Give Sheldon the win. Called upon. Started the first 2 weeks as well. So your handoff left side. This one goes to Burgess, and he finds space into Sherwood territory. Down the left sideline. 25-20, 10-5, touchdown Sheldon. Matthew Burgess all the way, 70 yards for the score.
Wow.
And there's not that much celebration right now on the field from Sheldon. And I'm wondering if there's a penalty flag out on the field that I did not see. And there is a chop block called against Sheldon. Nixes that 70-yard play in the bud. Luckily for the Irish, it happened deep down the field. They'll get the ball first and 10 from the 37-yard line of Sherwood. So that chop block must have happened back at the 22-yard line.
That really takes away a 70-yard house call. Could have been the nail in the coffin.
Sheldon now just has to grab some more tools, do it again. Keeper for Line, left side, goes to the 35, gets forward to the 34 before being stopped. It's a pickup of a couple.
I mean, obviously taking the ball 70 yards to the house is exciting. But what I saw in that play was excellent patience. He ran horizontally, waited for the blocks to set in front of him, and then attacked upfield vertically for 70 yards to the house. Was called back though.
Could have really ended this game, put a dagger in Sherwood, whatever metaphor you want for it. But Sheldon, 6 minutes to play, still going to have to find a few more plays left in this offense. Second down and 7 from the 34. It's going to be a handoff right side for Lane Shields, trying to find the edge, but they secure it, pushing him back to the 37-yard line, back near the original line of scrimmage. Lane Shields, a loss on the run.
If Sherwood were to get a stop here, it'd be a very long field goal, possibly 4-down territory. And that shot block could be huge, detrimental to the result of tonight's game.
.5:24 to go. It's 3rd and long now for Sheldon. Griffin Line maybe going to have to go to the air here to pick up the first. It's a play action. He rolls to the left, looking to run. Now cutting back to the middle, just diving forward to the 35-yard line to salvage a yard. It's going to be 4th and about 6 now. We roll down 5 minutes to play.
Yep, looks like it's going to be 4-down territory. 4th and 8 from the 35.
Josh Line just wants to keep his offense out there and have them win this one.
Johnson Jr. still limping on the sidelines, but standing up to cheer on his teammate and his team.
3rd down, or rather 4th down and 8. Line looking to throw a soft screen underneath to Burgess. He's wrapped up, and it's incomplete. Great job in the backfield by Nick Severson. The incompletion will be a turnover on downs, gives it back to Sherwood, but just 4:24 remaining with number 3 Sheldon leading 44-28.
That shot block, what a difference that's made. Could have been a house call of 70 yards instead. Sherwood gets the ball back. No points on the board. They'll take over from the 35.
First and 10 now for Sherwood from the 35. It's a handoff up the middle to Stormont, hit from behind as he slides forward to the 44, a 9-yard gain on first down.
Sherwood's going to have to play with some quickness now. Clock's ticking down, just about 4 minutes to go. 2nd and 1. They're at the 49. Pardon me, my math is atrocious. 44.
Second down. It's going to be a handoff around the edge, going to Guerra. He finds space into Sheldon territory, moving his way back up the middle, carrying defenders inside the 40 for finally wrapped up and thrown down at the 37. .345 to play. Clock starts again as they reset the chains. First and 10 to the 37 for Sherwood. Need to score quickly here. 2-point conversion, then get the ball back and get another touchdown and 2-point conversion. Handoff goes around the outside to Scroggins, and he's dragged down. Gets to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And on the near side, a flag comes out.
What I saw in that play from this angle, where we are on the near sideline, is that that when you have two people that could possibly take the handoff, it's very hard to decipher which one actually took it because they're both running to the left side of the ball.
I've been having the problem all night long trying to figure out who's carrying it. I can understand down on the field, you got to make even a quicker call. And now, Sherwood's going to get tagged with the same call that brought back that 70-yard touchdown run from Matthew Burgess. A chop block brings him all the way back to the 47-yard line. Will be first and very long. Dropping back is Bernhardt looking to throw, firing over the middle, incomplete, and the flag comes out from the back judge again for pass interference. This one called on Jack Folsom, and a lot of contact there. 3:11 to go, and this one probably going to be another first down going to Sherwood. For Sheldon, though, still just burning clock with these penalties going back and forth, just pushing the ball forward and then back.
Yeah, that Sheldon secondary and really the defense as a whole has really had a problem protecting and stopping the throw. Every single time there's some sort of holding or pass interference play. And they just put them back to 1st and 20. Now they're giving them back. 32-yard line for Sherwood.
So now it's first down and 5 after the penalty from the 32. Bernhardt rolling to his right, being chased from behind, and he's going to be hit from behind. The ball pops out on the sack as well. Sheldon thinks that they have it. Who came up with it at the bottom of the pile? It's the Irish. Sheldon takes over from their own 37-yard line. The sack and fumble from Parker Wiles.
Parker Wiles came from the blind side and absolutely laid it on him. Out of nowhere, saw that one coming. And took the ball with him. An excellent opportunity for Sheldon to just drain the clock out at any points. Whatever analogy you want to use, dagger, nail in the coffin, any points would do that. 3 minutes to go.
Any points or maybe just a few first downs as well. 2:58 to go, 1st and 10 from the 38. It's where it's officially spotted after the fumble and recovery. 3 of those in the second half from Sherwood has maybe sealed their fate. The keeper left side for line. He works up across the 45 to the 46. Sherwood going to take a timeout with 2:50 to play, try to salvage whatever they can. Their odds starting to look awfully small to advance past the second round here. Could be their third consecutive season that ends in the second round of the OSAA state playoffs. Which, by the way, thanks for joining us here on KWVA2 for the Friday night spotlight. If you're looking for some more action, Thurston and Churchill doing battle over on 88.1 FM. It's 35-28 right now. Churchill with the advantage in the fourth quarter can find the finish with Jordan Brenner and Jonathan Rifkin. And just in general, you can always check out OSAA Today for news, polls, and stories on the latest in Oregon high school sports and activities. Go to www.osaa.org and find the OSAA Today section. Share some story ideas and even become a contributor. Visit OSAA Today today. 2:50 to go. Sherwood down to 2 timeouts. It's second down and 2. Sheldon essentially just a couple first downs away from being able to run this clock down to 0. Line in at quarterback. Johnson Jr. suffering an injury the end of the third quarter. He's been back up walking around, but line in at quarterback to end the game as the handoff goes to Lane Shields' left side. He bullies his way forward to near the 48. It's going to be a pickup of just 1, and it'll be third and short. Forces Sherwood to take another timeout. 7 seconds tick off. It's 2:43 to go now. That almost benefits Sheldon, I think. They can now try to pick up the first down next time, and Sherwood just has to use another timeout.
And if you're Sherwood, at the end of this game, if they were to lose, you really are going to have to. You've had several. Pardon me. I'm buffling with words. Pardon me. They've had more than enough opportunities.
Yeah.
All game. And it seems as though that every single time they somehow kick themselves in the shoe. Whether it's the fumbles, the onside kick, the botched punt, everything. They've had the opportunities to tie this game up, even give themselves the lead. And it just seems as though the fumbles just come at the wrong time at the wrong place. And it's going to, yeah.
Sometimes that's how it goes. Sherwood needed a lot of things to go their way tonight in order to knock off Sheldon. They've had a few things. They've done quite a few good things on their side. Sheldon's just been able to counter every single time with something of their own. And in the second half, it's been Sherwood that's been coughing up the ball, and Sheldon, the ones that have been protecting it. By the way, a final score from the 5A ranks. Number 5, West Albany, goes into number 4, Silverton, and knocks them off. They'll be playing in the semifinals after a 20-16 victory. Griffin Line working around the left side. A keeper picks up the first on third down across midfield to the 49-yard line. The clock will stop momentarily at 2:36. And we'll see if Greg Lawrence uses his final timeout. By the way, also, over on 88.1, that Thurston and Churchill game just got that much more interesting. Under 8 minutes to go, Thurston scores a touchdown, makes it 35-34, and then miss the PAT that is blocked. That one coming down to the final minutes. Sherwood opts not to use their timeout here. Still 1 to go. 2:15 to play. Griffin Line waits on the play clock and then takes the snap. Handoff to Lane Shields. Works around the right side to the 45, to the 40, and then smacked down at the 39. Pickup of 9 yards. Roll down under 2 minutes to go.
It was really that first possession that Sherwood had to get a stop. They had the 3 timeouts. They brought him to a 3rd and 2. But Lines found a hole, took the first down, and it seems as though Sheldon's really hit their groove. Minute 42 and ticking down.
Could just be one more first down to go. 2nd and 1. Line standing in the backfield waiting for the snap. Just going to chew off as much clock as possible. Now raises his right leg, bends down, takes the snap, handoff into the gut of Shields, right up the middle, bounces off a tackler, inside the 35, and down to the 33. It's a first down for Sheldon. The clock stops with 1:20 to play. With 1 timeout for Sherwood, they technically could still force Sheldon to get 1 more first down if they wanted. But But Sheldon can essentially here just either kneel or run the ball 2 more times, and that should do it.
Griffin Line, a lot of credit to that kid. Junior steps in for Michael Johnson Jr.'s shoes and is not messed up. He's a lot of credit to that kid.
Takes a
He's
knee
done a
there.
great job.
And not phased. And it really begs the question of, you look back at the beginning of the year, I'm sure Sheldon would have liked to have Michael Johnson there in the season opener against Graham Kapowsin, that ESPN televised game that they lost in a thriller, 51-50. I'm sure they think if Johnson Jr. is healthy there, they maybe win that game. But you just have to wonder how beneficial it could be for this team to have gotten Griffin Line those reps in the first couple weeks of the season.
Oh, it's absolutely going to help them next year. Definitely.
And maybe down the stretch of the playoffs, too, if Johnson Jr., who knows how healthy he really will be, and you never know, injuries can happen every single week. As here, Griffin Line kneels down, Sheldon walks back to their sideline, and the Sheldon crowd gets on their feet. For the 12th time in the past 13 years, Sheldon are going to the quarterfinals. They knock off Sherwood 44-28. Wasn't maybe the prettiest victory for Sheldon at times, but they get the job done. Sherwood just not enough. Their season ends at 5-6. For the first time ever, Greg Lawrence will go under 500 in consecutive seasons as their season ends for the 3rd consecutive year in the second round. Sheldon into the quarterfinals. Altogether, the Irish did what they needed to do tonight. And now it's just the question of how ready are they to step into the final 8 of 6A's best.
Well, I think the question is at quarterback. If Michael Johnson Jr. is there, they're a completely new team. As we saw in the first quarter, they were absolutely dominant on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. It seems as though everything was going their way. And then Sherwood climbed in, second quarter, gave themselves some fighting opportunities. Third quarter did the exact same thing, but just too many mistakes at the wrong times. Sherwood gave themselves an opportunity to win it. Just too many mistakes at the wrong time. And I don't blame it on the coaching staff. I don't blame it on the players. It was a collective effort. And Sheldon improves to 9-2 on the season. Like you said, going to their 12th quarterfinals. Still pending the result of their matchup for next week, right?
Yes, I'm going to try to get us some score updates here from around the state so we can get a better context of just where Sheldon is at right now in the bracket. As it sits down the stretch of the fourth quarter, West Lynn is leading 48-20. It's looking likely right now that Sheldon next week will play a rematch with number 6 West Lynn. We got to go back to week 3 of the season when those two teams met here in Dennis Ludwig Stadium. At the time, Sheldon had been West Lynn had been the number 1 team in the state. Sheldon knocked them off their perch, but Ethan Long, quarterback for West Lynn, who was committed to play at Arizona State, he went down with an injury at the end of that first quarter. Sheldon, they just saw Michael Johnson Jr. get banged up in the second half of this game. The question of maybe who's just the healthiest at quarterback comes to question when those two teams meet, but I think there's no doubt that next week's matchup between West Lynn and Sheldon, as long as the Lions hold on, that's going to be one to watch. And it's clear West Lynn's going to have revenge on their mind, and Sheldon knows what they have to do. They're going to have to play really well and play some of their best football to make it to the semifinals.
Definitely, and if they play like they did in the first quarter, I think Sheldon has the advantage. When Michael Johnson Jr. is making something out of nothing, when he's escaping, leaving the pocket and doing something, and finds Herbert and all their other big guys. Who they have? They have Jack Folsom, who played incredible. Matthew Burgess played well as well. But as we take a look at this Sherwood team, as they take a knee with all their coaches, all the parents surrounding them, we tip our hats to all the seniors. Jacob Reuter played very well. His quarterback, Seth Barnard, who found him for an excellent throw and catch. Their seasons come to an end. Their football careers at Sherwin Bowman come to an end. And I tip them half to that entire team and their seniors, because they played their tails off today and played with incredible heart. And that's what we really love to see. as a football fan, a high school football fan, as a coach, and really even as a broadcaster.
I had said it, Greg Lawrence, the first time ever in his career this team falls under 500 to end the year. But you look back at who Sherwood played this year. Throwing in tonight's game, 10 of their 11 games this year were against playoff teams. On top of that, 6 of those 9 games came against teams in the top 8 that they had to play. And a lot of those teams will be still in action next week in the quarterfinals. Sherwood played one of the toughest schedules all season long. They fought all season long. And I think you can definitely say they made Sheldon earn it tonight at home. And sometimes that's all you can do going on the road in the state playoffs.
I completely agree. Those 4 teams that you talked about, all 4 of them are hosting second-round games, which means they're some of the best in Oregon high school football. And they gave Sheldon a run for their money. The first quarter was not pretty for Sherwood, don't get me wrong. But the way they played in the second quarter, third quarter, and even parts of the fourth show that the future is bright for this Bauman team.
Well, real quick before we do sign off here on KWVA 2, looking at some other scores really quick across the state. Jesuit, they finish off their second round win against number 20 Reynolds, 45-7. The Crusaders looking like they'll play number 5 Tigard next week in the quarterfinals. The Tigers leading number 12 Barlow 45-20 with a couple minutes remaining. Clackamas, last time we were able to get an update, they led 24-7 in the fourth quarter over number 15 West Salem. Liberty and Sunset have been in a duel, but Liberty coming back from a 2-score deficit. They now lead 43-31 in that fourth quarter. And also an overtime game in the second round. The 8 and 9 seeds locked in a battle. Central Catholic and Tualatin tied at 21 apiece. CC is starting with possession. So definitely stay tuned to that over there. And also on 88.1 right now, 42-34. Number 2 Churchill leads number 7 Thurston in the 5A quarterfinals. When we wrap up here, that's what you'll hear next with Jordan Brenner and Jonathan Rifkin. But before we sign off, another message from the OSAA. Heard quite a bit from our officials here tonight. A good job by them. And maybe you need some extra spending money and you want to give back to student athletes, you could become an athletic official. There's a big shortage of officials in Oregon, and we need you now more than ever. Visit www.newofficials.org. Well, that does it for us here tonight from Dennis Ludwig Stadium. A 44